Hello, 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 and welcome to Monday night. It's been a day. I'll get more into that as some people come into the room here, because right now I'm sitting here by myself with Sable and Archers in the other room. So I hope everybody's had a good day and everybody had a good weekend. Oh, there's some people in the room. Hello, hello, hello. I spent a day. Today was not as productive as I hoped it would be because I woke up. Hello, Tiffany. Hello, Mark. Hello, Ashton. I woke up at about 3 o'clock in the morning and I just. Last night after I ate, my stomach felt like bloated and I woke up at like 3 a.m. and just couldn't get back to sleep. So I just laid there until like 4. Then I got up and I threw up and I just felt lousy until for a couple hours actually. And then I finally got it back together. I'm feeling better now. But most of the day I was just drained. And I actually didn't start work until a little later tonight. Let me see here. If yesterday at 11:26. Let's see if this opens up to what I was working on. All right. So here, I'll read you a little more of what I wrote on the story. So Tom, I think I read you last time. Tom had just walked out and thrown the Bible and the stuff into the trash can. Sorry, he said aloud, but that's the day and age we live in. He justified his actions, believing that if a potential buyer that was not a Christian saw the items in the house, it might be a turnoff. If they were a Christian, they wouldn't know they were gone and it wouldn't matter. Either way, since the items seemed to be of little or no value to anyone besides those that had put them there, removing them was a wise business decision. Now, see, this goes to show you that the stuff the stuff I write in the book as compared to the movie, I can delve more into Tom's mindset and what's going on. So you can't do that in the movie. I mean, actions do say what they, actions depict one thing, but in the book, I'm able to actually, like, here's an example coming up. After eating, Tom began the drive back to the property on Steelmanville Road. He always thought of it as the property and not his home because he didn't consider it his home. He was not going to live there. He was going to sell it for a profit, hopefully a significant profit. Even though he had only walked a small portion of the property, he knew it was beautiful, but he would not be able to afford to stay there. When Tom lost his job, he stressed over trying to find a way to make a living. When he decided to try investing in real estate and flipping houses, he stressed over finding the right property. When he found Steelmanville Road, he stressed over making the right bid. And when he learned he had the winning bid, he stressed over the fact that all his savings was going into the purchase. Now that he settled, he was stressed about flipping it. So much of his life, even when steadily employed, was stressful. No matter what obstacle he stressed about and overcame in life, there was always something new to stress about. Now on his ride back to the property, he stressed, wondering whether the electric was on or not. The constant stress in his life was the number one reason he never married for he would always stress about his spouse being unfaithful or that they would lose interest in him. He hadn't been on a date in 2 decades and had long since stopped thinking about it. He did, however, worry about growing old alone, but if he succeeded in this new endeavor, he could hire a caregiver like his mother had. You see, these are things that were covered in the movie just by him driving home saying, I think I see light, I think I see light. But you don't know what's going through his mind. His mind constantly worried about things like this, and he couldn't focus on anything else. If someone asked him what he just ate for dinner, he'd have to think about it for a moment to remember. This was the effect stress had on him. He pondered seeing a psychologist, but the thought of pouring out his soul to a stranger only added to his anxieties. He would continue to push forward past obstacles, none of which were significant enough to make him feel accomplished. As he winded his way through the last 2 curves leading up to the property, he thought he saw some lights. I think I see light, he said aloud. I think my friends at Atlantic City Electric did me a solid. He hoped that was the case, but calling them friends was a stretch. Tom had no friends. He was relieved when he pulled in the driveway for the second time that day and saw the lights lining the concrete walkway illuminated. Immediately, he wondered if maybe they were solar powered and the electricity wasn't turned back on. But that concern faded when he could see a few interior lights on in various rooms through the windows. As he parked the van in the driveway, he spoke out loud, saying, I'm going to make a fortune flipping this place. It didn't register to him how out of character that optimistic thought was for him. Maybe even at 50 years old, he was changing. Had he thought about it, he would have dismissed it for something negative. Tom used his phone to record his return. Let's take a look at what we got, he said as he exited his van and headed up the front walk. He could now go inside and take a look around at the rest of the property. He hoped that the rest of the place would look as good as the small portion of it he had seen earlier. As he approached the front door, the foyer lights came on, the result of him tripping a motion detector he didn't know was there. It startled him seeing the lights come on, but even more alarming was the fact that the front door was open a few inches. What the fuck? Did I leave that open? He asked himself. The fact that he was always speaking his thoughts out loud never registered as odd to him, but it was odd nonetheless. Had he ever actually gone to a psychologist, they might be able to explain to him why he did this. The fact was, he rarely noticed he was talking to himself, so it caused him no concern. His heart pounded as he pushed the door open and saw the foyer in disarray, nothing like he had left it earlier. A ladder and an artificial tree laid side by side immediately in front of him. Behind that, he could see chairs move into a position blocking the living room doorway. He stepped over the ladder and moved forward. When he reached the doorway of the living room, he could see the piano was away from the wall. One of the end table lamps was now lying on the couch, and 2 upholstered chairs were turned on their sides in front of a door he would soon learn led to the basement. Any normal person would have called the police immediately, but the way his mind worked, he worried that doing so would create a negative public record that could affect selling the house. He stepped forward, moved the chairs, and came to rest at the top of the basement stairwell. So anyway, you get the impression that the book allows me to describe Tom's mind and what's going on much more than the movie could do. So let me see. Hello, Juan. Hello, Ashton and Brian. Thanks, Mark. Holly's not here. She's already went in. Hi, Eric. You played the bad bed game? Yeah. Thanks, Death Call. Well, the plan is going to be I will have the hardcover done before the holidays. Then I will do a version of it that's available for like e-readers. Then I will do a paperback, and then I will do a maybe an audio book. Some of this will overlap, by the way, but I'm up there with Ash Williams, huh? And Reggie Bannister. So yeah, this morning was I didn't feel good, but I got up, got out, and then as time went on, I felt better. It actually it was a warm day, but not super humid, and it actually just started raining. So someday, Kaylee, someday, because there's some, I started this bad Ben shit at age 50. So there were 50 years of my life before that were had some. I've had a pretty interesting life. Hey, Sophia. So who got to watch the movie the other night on Saturday? We had a lot of people in there, like 50 people. We had 10 more people than we had the week before. And this Saturday we'll be doing Steelmanville Road. So hopefully you'll join me. Juan watched, Tiffany watched. Well, it's still on the YouTube channel, Sophia. You could go watch. I mean, if you've seen Bad Ben already, you'd probably just want to watch it on the channel or something. Working on a couple upgrades to the channel. Thanks, Tori. Working on a couple upgrades to the Roku and Amazon channel. A couple things in work. In September, I'm going to be able to start adding people manually back in, and people will be able to watch on your computer, on your laptop or your computer. Like I was saying a minute ago, it was warm all day, and then just recently, like in the past 20 minutes, it started raining. Hi, Tracy. If you just showed up, you missed. I read some more of the book, but I'll be sending it to you. Tracy's one of the book supporters that'll have an acknowledgement in the book forever and ever. Oh, you watched Saturday? Yeah, I saw you in there Saturday night. And there's Holly, which you guys can't see because she's in here on Facebook. But there she is, spying on me from the other room. So it's raining now. Ha, do you hear the rain? We're supposed to get thunderstorms too. We'll see if that happens. And Saturday night, by the way, was, hey, Sable, hello. You're licking your leg where you scratched me. You and your brother scratched me while sassing each other. Sophie says hello too. Here. Sophie's been getting Holly up every morning at like 4 a.m. My favorite to make Well, they each had their parts, but Bad Ben because it was such an unknown, and yeah, it's raining. I think it is, or I'm crazy. No, it's raining, and I really enjoyed making the Haunted Highway, but the scenes with uh, the way in where I got hit with all the ashes, that was fun. But if I focus on the last two in particular, the the last 20 minutes of Undead, where we're running from the zombies and we get in the shed and Mitch gets his head cut off and all that was a lot of fun. But I got to tell you, probably the most memorable, and it's probably because it's most recent, the alien birth at the end of Alien Agenda was uh, was a blast. We had so much fun doing that. What was your favorite one? You said the Mandela Effect. You know, Bad Ben. Many of you have heard this story probably now to the point you're sick of hearing it, but Bad Ben, I wasn't supposed to originally be in. There were six actors I hired, and one by one they canceled. And they hadn't met me or something to say. They just took the job over email and they were getting paid and they just dropped out. Oh, I can't do it. I got to do this, got to do that. All I had left was the female lead, and she dropped out 3 days before I was to start filming. And I'm driving down my street in the pouring rain, and I just pick up the phone, start filming myself, and that's how it all started. And I wanted to make a movie for the longest time. I didn't want to, at my age, be out in Hollywood schlepping around trying to sell a film or get working on something or go up to Manhattan and find an agent or something. I didn't want to do any of that bullshit. They're all full of shit. And I wound up, hey, Deb, and I wound up I said, you know what I can do? The equipment I own, I can make something that looks like it was shot on security cameras. So that's what inspired me to do Bad Ben. And the rest is history. Holly, Tracy said hello. Annie said hello. Deb's in here on Facebook too. So you guys can't see all the people that are here from YouTube. By the way, I don't know how many of you actually subscribe to Bad Ben TV, but we're working on it to see if it's possible um, to do this live stream on the Roku channel so that you could take and tune in, just sit down, turn on your TV. Now, the one problem that presents is your comments. Unless you can watch it on your TV and you can watch it on your phone and type your comments or your computer, but you won't be able to type in comments on the Roku. You will be able to when I do other broadcasts. That, like when Scott and I want to do a nighttime galley van, to do it with Holly too, where we go out on a nighttime galley van, drive around and live stream that on the Roku channel. So, well, Tori, you'd be able to watch that on there, and there's more coming to the Roku channel, I promise you, and it's going to be coming steady. It's just I'm getting caught up on a couple things. How did you come up with the name Tom Riley? It's actually a family name. It was a grandfather. His name was Thomas Riley. And he married Elsie Borm. And hi, Melanie. 7 years old. I'll have to keep my mouth clean. I won't say any dirty words, Melanie, until your sister tells me you're no longer watching. So, hopefully tonight we're going to get some thunderstorms. I sleep well during thunder, or although I'll wake up, but it's just very soothing. Friend me on Facebook. You can follow me on Nigel Bach Official, and you can also follow me on YouTube. My personal Facebook account stays my personal Facebook account. No offense. No, I told you I wrote Puddles, and after I wrote the first Puddles, I found out that was the wrong Puddles. There's more than one Puddles, and somebody mentioned the other night that there's a shit ton of Puddles the Cloud. Well, as it turns out, neither one of them wrote me back, and as it turns out, there's now another Puddles the Clown, the one I created. You're welcome, Miss Fernandez. We had a lot of fun. Didn't get drunk for a change. The week before was too much. Too much. So I'm sitting here on the back deck. If it begins to thunder, I'll shut the computer down so I don't destroy it, but you're going to have to fend for yourself there, Death Call. So anybody, so you know, that does donate gets their names in the credits of what I'm working on. And you'll get a shout out right here. Annie, I would, but she'll probably show up here in a minute. Archer's laying on the couch right back there. You can't see him, but let me see. That's him right there. He's black though, and the couch is navy blue. So we always had cable where we lived. We rabbit ears because of where we live down near the coast. There's really the only TV station that was down here that was strong was an NBC affiliate called TV 40. They were around for decades, but they closed down in 2018. And we used to be able to get TV 40 on rabbit ears, and we used to be able to get like 3, 6, and 10, which was NBC, ABC, and CBS out of Philly. Archer is a dog. I used to do TV commercials for NBC 40. I didn't work for them. I was an independent contractor, but I did them for NBC 40 and I did them for Comcast. Thank you, Katie, for saying. Katie Atha. Well, I work hard, Katie, and the fans support me a lot. Basically, Bad Ben 12 was almost an entirely fan financed film. The book is being, I've gotten contributions to make the book. Well, I got one so far, which was Tracy. Tracy, you guys can thank Tracy for the fact that 12 was even made. You know, Death Cow, I don't know. I always say if you keep watching, I'll keep making. But the thing about it is, because the way the payment structure works now and how tough it is getting paid out and all, and how long it takes, and the fact that Amazon did what they did, um, and the fact that I got to sit here and constantly bug the shit out of you guys for $5, $10, whatever you donate, it's it gets a little. It's not only old; it gets a little embarrassing. Um, but the Roku channel subscriptions are growing. We're doing more things. Bad Barbie, I'm working on. It's it's going to be nearly impossible to have the Dracula situation done for Halloween. So I have two plans for Halloween, and well, I did tell people that, like, when, for instance, if my call for donations there bothers anybody, just there it is. Sorry, it shows the Wi-Fi is really low, and I don't know why. The transmitter is literally 4 feet away from me. If it does go out, it's it'll pop back on a few seconds later. Tiffany, you've done plenty. You've done plenty. Many of you I recognize that have done something. And like I've said, I don't want to talk about. I leave the donation thing up. I just don't want to talk about money every time we talk. So you guys know. But the fact of it is that as many followers as I have on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, if everybody donated $5, $10, I never have to ask again. We are going to set up, I am going to set up the ability for people, and this is the last I'll say about money, all right? I am going to set up the ability to make micro donations. And by that, I mean, like, say, $1, $2, and you'll be able to subscribe to that. So it's kind of like Patreon works now, but Patreon takes so much in fees. It's ridiculous. Um, who I don't I didn't see her in the room. What kind of commercials did I make? Pete asked a while ago. Just for local businesses. Might be a jewelry store, might be a florist, might be a deli, might be a pizza place. Hi, Judy. I did I did a lot for appliance place, Art Handlers. There's going to be the ability on Bad Ben TV coming up for people to put commercials on for dirt cheap, and you basically aren't paying just to pay. You're paying, and there'll be a number of hits your commercial gets, and that's what you'll pay for, like $25, and you'll get like 100 or 200 or whatever commercials. That's good for somebody that's got a website that you sell stuff. Like if you've got an eBay store or an Etsy store, or you sell something that you ship anywhere, it's not going to be good if you own a card store in Minneapolis, because um, that's going to be wasting your money. But if you own a store on the web, or there's even going to be the ability where somebody will be able to say, hey, Friday night I'm going to watch uh, Bad Ben with my family, and I'd like to propose to my girlfriend. You could do a commercial that plays right before Bad Ben starts. Since you recently released another animated film, well, I didn't release one yet. We're working on one. Um, how do you feel about The Witch Bitch? The Witch Bitch was a blast to make. The problem was it took so long. It took that 10 or 15-minute film took longer to make than basically an hour of any of the other films. But I've gotten a little better at my technique, so it goes a little quicker. I would basically like to do 5 or 10 minute episodes of the Biggins weekly animated. Well, we've always had dogs. In Bad Ben, I never showed the dogs, but the beds were here. And the hell was that? I just saw a reflection of something move behind me. Oh, that was my hand. Sorry. Um, Now we have two mixed breeds. One looks like he's got a lot of black lab in him, but he's kind of got the build of a Weimaraner, but he's mostly black lab. And the other one we were told is part beagle, part Australian blue heeler, and she to me looks like she's part pit, but she's a little solid dog. I did not even know who Marky Plier was. No offense meant to him. But one day my phone started blowing up, and it was all these people telling me that Marky Plier was playing the Bad Ben game. And so I said something to Holly, and she's a big gamer. And she says, Marky Plier, he's huge. Game Grumps also played it. But yeah, he played it. He had a good time. That got a lot of views. Animation is most labor intensive, and I do it all myself. Now, you've got shows like Family Guy and The Simpsons that are basically contracted out to, like, I think it's Korea or something, where they manage to turn out all these episodes, and they're very involved. And that's because they're probably paying somebody to work in a sweatshop to make these things for nothing. When I finish this cigar, I'm ending this stream, just so you know. I didn't smoke much today because earlier I wasn't feeling well. Holly told me something. I added to my list today Grave Encounters, because Scott even mentioned the other day that he watched it and he liked that. Holly said something we got to watch today. Holly, are you still in here? Probably not. But something she wants us to watch. DX Vests. I'm smoking the Peak Puff Pro right now. I'm dabbing on the Hippie Crasher. Well, he sounds like you're having a party all by yourself there. I don't know what state you guys live in, but Jersey just recently legalized recreational pot and opened some dispensaries, but they're a pain in the ass. I don't know if I showed you this, but I wanted to get like some gummies and to help with sleeping, but because my neck would always get so sore. But I saw this video and I went over this, which Cravings. Yeah, that was a movie we watched this weekend. Annie, I hope you went to Rotten Tomatoes and gave him a review. That's what he asked. But you sit on the edge of your bed like this right before going to bed. You turn your head this way as far as you can without cracking it. You turn it this way and you do that 15 times. I count an entire rotation as 1, 2. You do that 15 times, not too fast like this. And then you do this 15 times. You look up, bring your chin down to your chest. You look up, bring your chin down to your chest 15 times. Then you do this, like you raise your ear to the ceiling 15 times. And then you end by doing, they call it the Janet Jackson. You move your head. Wait, I can't look at myself and do it. But sorry about that. I don't know why it does it. Like I guess I gotta run it keeps popping on and off, folks. I'm sorry. If that keeps up, I'm just gonna shut down. But um the I have not seen Oppenheimer, nor have I seen Barbie. $1 billion that film made, and man, did they make a marketing campaign around that thing. You walk into Walmart, and the Barbie aisle was sold out. They had pink and shit all at the front of the store with Barbie displays all gone. Same with Target. Well, I found out I for home protection um, I have a handgun, and then I got a shotgun because it's a little easier for home protection than a handgun is. A handgun, if God forbid you had to use it, and I've only ever fired it once at the range. God forbid you ever had to use it, your aim better be good. But a shotgun kind of, puts out a blast. So plus the sound, the gun. Typically, anybody that's up to no good isn't going to hang around. But it wasn't that difficult to get. Transporting it, there's a lot of regulations, but I'm not a big gun guy. Scott is, and Scott knows his shit when it comes to that. But the medical marijuana is not really a thing anymore. Anybody can go buy it. Drone delirium. Are you related to the other drone? I bought a drone, by the way, a couple years ago, and it's part of what I shot the scenes from the Haunted Highway on, and it was great, but you could get no parts for it. So I banged it up a little bit in the first month. I tried getting parts, and you couldn't get parts. I even emailed the company, and they really were no help. So I took it back, got my money back. Now I wound up getting a. There was a $29 drone for sale, and I Tracy. I don't even have to look, and I know that was you. By the way, everybody that's here that's a fan of these films, hang on, let me just make sure I'm not. Yes. Um, Everybody that's a fan of these films needs to be a fan of this lady right here. She just made a huge donation to these films. I mean, it's humbling. And that's on top of the fact that she paid the I don't want to say dollar amounts because I don't want to I don't want to make anybody think that $5 doesn't matter, but um, because it does. But Tracy has done so much. 12 would not have happened had it not been her for her. This book would not be happening if it had not been for her. And Bad Ben 13 is now happening because of what she just did. So, Tracy, thank you. I'm humbled and I'm grateful. Other people are noticing too, Tracy. Let's just put it this way without trying to, it's got a comma in it. That's how big the donation she just made. You're autocorrect, Tracy. You are all very welcome, my fellow benefits. I know she meant Benites, but Tracy, you're one of a kind. I will tell you, and I'm humbled. And everybody's in here thanking you, as they should. And I thank every one of you because, like I said, if anybody that attended the premiere in Tennessee got to hear me talk about how that was a fan funded film and how humbled I was, the amount of support I got from you guys. You're unbelievable. I don't know what I'd do without you. Let me tell you something. In my lifetime, I have sent some text messages and emails where autocorrect changed something to something so vulgar. And now you can unsend an email on an iOS device like an iPhone for you got like 30 seconds or 10 seconds to unsend it. I've never used it, but you can. But I Idoji, did I pronounce that right? Um, I had a blast the first year of FrankenCon, and the second year, this year, was Bride of FrankenCon, and I had a blast because Scott. The first year, just I went, and we screened Bad Ben. This year we premiered Alien Agenda, and Scott went with me, and Mitch went with me, and Scott's wife Lisa, who plays Miss Jenna in the films, went with me, and we had a great time. But it all comes down to if they invite me again. I don't ever ask to be invited to things because there's horror conventions and Comic-Con type conventions right in my area. They have one in Atlantic City. They have one in Cherry Hill. Atlantic City is about 20 minutes from here. By the time you park and everything, it's actually only like 10 minutes. It's like 5 minutes from where Scott lives. Cherry Hill is about an hour. There's some things up in northern New Jersey which are like 2 hours, and I would do them if anybody would invite me, but I'm not inviting myself. You said it froze, but I don't think it did. But if I get invited, I'll have something there. We had a ton of T-shirts this year, and we sold them all. We brought a little Stripe credit card processor so we could take credit and debit cards, and we sold the DVD sets, the Blu-ray sets, and we gave out little glow-in-the-dark aliens. So, yeah, and we're growing the Roku channel. And like I said, one of the things I would love to do at one of these horror conventions, in fact, one of the things I'll try to get them to do here with us is get the Paranormal Access Investigates team, the UK Paranormal Access Paranormal team, and live stream a live paranormal investigation so that you guys can watch them and see it as it happens. It's pretty amazing. They do come across some things they're interesting, they're legit, because they don't, like, if something happens that you would think was something paranormal, they'll tell you, oh, that was me, I accidentally kicked this or I did that. So they don't make shit up, they do it for real. But let me tell you something about Bad Barbie. You better, yeah, I would like to actually live stream a paranormal investigation at one of these horror conventions. But I'll set them up so we'll do it one night here. The only thing is, because they're 5 hours ahead in the United Kingdom, so I would want to. I mean, I try not to start before 9. Tonight I did, but because the West Coast, the people aren't getting off until they might be getting off work at 5 or 6. So if I started at like 8, it's kind of early, or 7. But I kind of, for those guys, because they're over there, I kind of like to start at like 7. Well, Adoji, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We're not this Bad Barb. The Bad Barb is not going to be. Somebody wrote me and said a good name for the movie would have been Bad Ken. And if you think about it, with Bad Ben to have Bad Ken, it would have been. But the doll I have, this real old doll, is a girl. I guess I could give her a haircut. But this is going to be dark. It'll be funny. Just people laugh at me, so it'll be funny, but not intentionally. me see something here. Oh no, I did something wrong here. What? Excuse me while I'm just doing a little maintenance here. Um, I've got to do one more thing. I'm sorry. I apologize here, folks. I'll be one more second. All right, that's good. Now let me do one last thing. I'm sorry. I know this is very exciting for you to watch me sit here and I just Tracy's got me making an order here. The sooner I do this, the sooner I can. All right. I'm sorry about that. Hope I didn't bore you to death there. Good night, Tracy. Thank you so much. Watch me get sued. Bad Barbie. If they give me any shit about it, I'll just live stream it here to you guys. Right? You won't tell. Um, Hi, Andrea. You actually caught me when I'm close to signing off here. So it's just about 9 o'clock, and it's been a great night. And I am going to log off here and get some work done before going to bed because Sable wants me to take her to bed. So thank you all for hanging out with me tonight and keeping me company. And I'll be back tomorrow night. So, as I say, see you, love you, bye.